From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Tuesday, June the 28th, 2022. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats, for the first time in more than a week, back at practice at Tim Hortons Field. As Art Kells, the rally, have come and gone, and the field looking as good as new, as it should, as they're getting set to take on the Elks on Friday. Lots to get to coming to that game, including a familiar face for both teams now, as the Ticats announced a trade. We'll hear from the newest member of the Ticats, offensive lineman Colin Kelly, in just a second. We'll hear from Tim White, as we normally do. We'll hear from Coach Orlando Steinauer. And later on in today's show, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Sal while down at practice today. So we'll play that for you coming up here on today's show. A couple of news and notes to get to. As mentioned, the Ticats making a deal yesterday as they acquired American offensive lineman Colin Kelly in exchange for a 7th-round pick in next year's CFL draft. Kelly's 32. He's played in 76 games over 7 seasons in the CFL with the Elks, and prior to that with the Ottawa Redblacks. Meanwhile, the Ticats announced that Joel Whitford has been released. And good news today for Ticats fans, as the team activated national offensive lineman Colter Woodmansey from the 6-game injured list. So Colter Woodmansey back at practice today. He was selected by Ticats in the first round, 5th overall in the 2020 CFL draft. Played in 9 games last season for the Ticats, and they really want him back at that right guard spot, as he did such a great job there last year next to Chris Van Zyl. So we'll keep our eye on his progression through the week. But Coach had something to say about Colter. He had something to say about Colin. Here's what he said after practice today.
Well, first of all, we went with a two-day prep week. We elected, just because of the way we were health-wise, to only go on the field twice this week, and so we thought that we just needed to get some quality work in. And it's not like they're on the whole time. I think it's 40 minutes or something like that. So for us, where we're at right now, it was important to get a good look. I feel like we gave them an extra day's rest, and it really showed. I thought they had a great practice out there today. Well, I mean, I saw a lot of his teeth today. He was pretty excited. He was smiling all day. I did not watch him the whole day, specifically just him, but I did see him moving around. And of course, we've seen him move around, outside of practice prior to this. But it's great to have him back out there. He's still not 100%, but he's pretty dang close. Well, today is his first day of practice, but he's willing to be here. He's excited to be a Tiger Cat. He could tell you better, but he jumped on a red eye, came here, was medicaled. It was a rough day. He flew into a time change, and stood up at the team meeting, and he was embraced by everybody. So I'll evaluate the practice tape, but we know he's an established veteran that's gotten it done. And, we wouldn't make a move like that if we didn't think it could help us. Yeah, you know what, Steve, to be honest with you, it's hard for me to go backwards. Right. We've already done the review of the tape, and we're moving forward. We've already debriefed, we've already spoken to everybody about, areas we needed to get better. And, to go back and wallow in that is taking a step backwards, and we've already done that. So, it's not to dance around the question, but there's no need to revisit it at this point in time. It's day 3 tomorrow, day before, and we play a game. So we're moving forward.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Orlando Steinauer, as he spoke after practice today, and not wanting to dwell on the Week 3 loss to Winnipeg, looking ahead to the Edmonton Elks on Friday. And hopefully you'll join us here at Tim Hortons Field as we welcome the best fans in the CFL back, and rocking the new Hamilton City jerseys too. So that'll be cool to see them out there on the field. Speaking of Tim Hortons Field, big game going down tomorrow night as Forge FC returns to the pitch, hosting Valor FC. And it's a big game for their captain, as Kyle Becker will be playing in his 100th career match. So very excited for Kyle and getting to see him play in his 100th match tomorrow. A reminder, tickets available for that one at forgefootball.ca. club. For more Ticats talk, let's hear from that newest member of the Ticats as we had a chance to catch up with Colin Kelly for the first time as a member of the Black and Golds. Here's what he had to say after practice today.
Well, I got a phone call from the old team at like 10 a.m. and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Good, you?" And then they were like, "Just so you know, you got traded to the Hamilton Ticats." I said, "Okay." Then about an hour later, I got about a phone call from Ed Hervey, and then said, "Hey, we're trying to get you out here." And then I left at 1 a.m. Mountain Time, and then showed up here at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and then had meetings, and away we go. I mean, definitely, it's awesome. They're very helpful in the sense that, trying to get me out here and get everything situated. When it comes to knowing some of the guys around, some of the guys I played college with, some of the guys were in Edmonton since I was there for a minute or two. And, I mean, they're helpful, trying to get everything figured out when it comes to, where the coffee pot is to, trying to find a place to stay.
Probably need the coffee.
Yeah. After that day, I'm feeling a little bit better today. But, yeah, yesterday was the long haul. I had a nice nap, so about 4 p.m. Yeah, the good news is I played against that Edmonton defense a few times at practice, so that's not the biggest part, but really just kind of getting their lingo and their terminology. So I'll definitely be ready to go, and I'm excited just to play again, regardless of who it is. Obviously, I'm switching positions, but that's just reps and just, making sure that you stay focused.
And that is the newest member of the Hamilton Ticats offensive lineman, Colin Kelly, as we caught up with him after practice today. Remember, full scrums available at ticats.ca. One last piece of audio to get to from post-practice as we had a chance to catch up with Tim White, and he's picking up 2022 right where he left off 2021 and then some. He's already had 19 catches for 216 yards and a touchdown over his first 3 games. And here's what he had to say after practice today.
Definitely just facing adversity, Obviously, you don't expect to start your season off, 0-3, but you get to see the resilience that your teammates have right away, early in the season. And I think it's a great thing for us right now. And obviously, we're just looking to bounce back and see what we can build from here. I think the mood right now is just like a willingness to get better. I think a lot of guys are like open to learning, open to, kind of just sitting back and seeing what the coaches have to say and just looking to get on the field and improve upon that. So I think game by game, I think we show some great things, and then there's a lot of things that we need to improve on. So taking it to the field, I think, is a great thing. I think a lot of guys are like rising to that challenge right now. Yeah, no, for me, it's been super cool. Obviously I'm learning a lot about myself. Like last year was a different challenge, and this year is a whole new challenge. So, I'm in a different position right now, and I'm just trying to like maximize while I'm here, while I'm able to be on the field and I'm healthy and I'm ready to go. I'm just trying to maximize right there. I think I see a guy who wants to lead. I know he feels he's in this position right now, and I think he just wants to capitalize on it. And he's obviously, we're facing adversity as a team. So, I mean, what better time is it to lead right now? So I think you see a guy that wants to be out there, wants to lead the guys, and just go out there and see his guys make plays and have fun doing it.
And that is receiver Tim White as we caught up with him after practice today. Speaking of practice, it was great to see Coach John Salavantis down here today watching with me, and we caught up for a few minutes, and here's that chat. And it started with the big news of the day, and that is the new offensive lineman for the Ticats, Colin Kelly, and a much-needed move for the Ticats.
It was necessary, Louie. You can't go into a game with 6 live bodies. You got to have more than that. You've got to be able to adjust to what's happening. Taking a player from the Elks is not a bad deal right now because you're going to play the Elks this week. So there may be a little inside information that might come out.
And just, an American, an experienced guy. He's been in the league for a while. They're looking at that left tackle spot. They've gone through a lot of bodies on that left tackle spot with Jordan Murray moving on to the NFL. Really since Riker Matthews. They're hoping this is kind of an anchor for them, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they have not found what they think is their number one left tackle. They moved Vornkall over to the guard spot, etc. But it's all because of the three guys that are injured. If those three guys were back in the offensive line, I think they'd be okay.
Can you attribute the lack of success on offense right now in terms of scoring points? Can you attribute that to the offensive line injury struggles, or is there more to it?
Well, there's always more to it, but that's the biggest part of it right now. The number of sacks, the number of hurries in the last ball game, you saw where Evans was throwing the ball away because he was pressured too much. You've got to be able to have your quarterback sit in the pocket, be relaxed, read his key downfield, and throw the football. And right now, that's not happening. I also think that there's a bit of a wait time for the receivers to come open. I think the receivers have to do a better job for Evans in getting to the right spot at the right time.
And that goes into some of the turnovers he's had, right? You mentioned it. He's throwing the ball away, was better at protecting it, but a couple of those interceptions, the Sean Thomas-Erlington against Calgary, the one Stephen Dunbar last week, I mean, those should be catches, shouldn't they?
They should be catches. If you can put it within the radius of their arms, they've got to come up with the ball to help the quarterback. But at the same time, there's been times that the ball's been thrown just a bit behind or a bit to the front of the receiver, or a bit low to the receiver. All those things play into it, Louie, as to incompletions.
The run game, again, struggling to get going. Only 7 carries, 7 designed run plays last week. We've seen this with this Ticats team before. Last season, they had these stretches where they weren't running the football very much. What do you attribute that to?
Well, you've got to call them. I mean, number one, you have to be able to make that call. They obviously don't have enough confidence in their offensive line to make those holes. Now, Early is not a great inside runner. He's a good runner. He's better off tackle. He's better on the outside. He's better with the ball in his hands wide. But at the same time, he's the guy you're counting on. So you've got to find ways that you can run him, whether you run him in a counter situation or you run him into a read with the quarterback. Somehow you've got to run the ball or you're not going to be successful.
What else jumped out at you from Friday night? A tough game. There was a lot going on. What jumped out to you?
Well, I think we have to acknowledge that Winnipeg is the best team in the league. They have the best offensive line. They have the best defensive line right now. They certainly play to their level of football. I think probably what jumped out to me was the fact that the Cats were able to stay in that ball game and fight through. Now, remember, Winnipeg lost a lot of good players. Lawler, who's gone to the Elks, was the number 1 receiver in the league last year. So Harris was the number 1 runner in the league for a number of years. He's gone. So they have lost some talent. But I think the Cats, if anything, they've got to be able to improve a little bit each game. And I saw some improvement early in the Winnipeg game.
And that goes to the point that it's a long season. There's still 15 games left to play. You haven't played anyone in the East yet. Not even, I think it's week 6. So you're finally going to see someone from the East. Can you put that into perspective? Just, fans who may be panicking right now at the 0-3 start?
Well, we've always said that, with the Western teams, you have to split. You have to win one against a Western team. Now, we've already lost to Sask. We've already lost to Winnipeg. We've already lost to Calgary. Now, the Elks have also played Calgary. They didn't play Winnipeg, but they played Saskatchewan. And the scores and the outcomes were identical to what the Ticats did. So, realistically, split with the West and win the East. And it's a long season, and there's a long way to go.
What are you watching today as we see the guys take the field for the first time since Friday? What are you going to be watching a little closer today at practice?
Well, I want to see, a little bit of more continuity in the passing game. I want to see a little more run game. I think they've got to take some time during practice to actually work on the run game. You don't work on it during camp. It's difficult to work on it without pads. So all things considered, you've got to spend a little more time doing that.
And the Elks, any worry? Because they come into here they're looking for their first win. They've been a little bit disappointing to start the year. Is there any worry that you may be looking down on an opponent early on in the season?
Well, certainly they can't look down on the Elks. The Elks have got a vibrant offense. When you look at them with James Wilder's the running back, Kenny Lawler is in a receiver, Manny Arsenault's a receiver, Darrell Walker is a receiver. These guys can play, and they've got a good quarterback in Nick Arbuckle. Arbuckle's putting the ball in the right places. Their problem is defense. They haven't been able to sustain on defense. They've given up way too many points.
And that's maybe a bit of a surprise considering Chris Jones has always been known for his defense.
But watch Chris Jones as he progresses. He's done it before. He did it in Saskatchewan. He did it earlier in Edmonton. He will get the defense going. So, realistically, this is a good chance for a win. You're at home. You're even 0-3. Go ahead and win the game.
Going into a bye week, too.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, you don't want to go to that bye week with a sour taste in your mind.
Yeah, I definitely didn't forget about the bye week, though, Coach. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
You're more than welcome, LB.
My thanks to Coach Sal for chatting with me at practice, and my thanks to you as well for tuning in, because we could not do the show without your support. Again, big shout out to Kyle Becker, who is playing his 100th CPL match tomorrow with Forge FC, and if you want to be there to witness history, ForgeFootball.club is where you can get your tickets. And hopefully you're getting your tickets, or you already have your tickets for Friday, July 1st, our first Made in the Hammer game. Ticats rocking those awesome gray jerseys for the first time on the field. And hopefully you'll join us here at Tim Hortons Field for the 7:30 kickoff and help celebrate Canada Day with us. All right, that'll do it for us today. We are back tomorrow. From all of us here at the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie Bucko. Hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.